Children, we will start from the line where from we had left in our previous video. So let's start it from here. We would talk world affairs and every major topic the news of the day produced. The writer says, after finding one of the three who could speak English with him, he would discuss many issues of the world level which were being discussed the world over. He also would discuss with one, and he also took up every piece of news, every topic of the news which was in the paper those days. In this way, I was trying to get a feel of the pulse of nation. Doing so, the writer says he was trying to know, trying to understand what the people of this country think, how the people of this country feel, what they had opinion about the world or about the news which was those days. And doing so, he was checking opinion, thoughts against official attitudes and reports. Feeling the pulse of nation, he was also checking reports, views, presentation which were reported in foreign countries. In foreign countries, many types of reporting had been done. They are whether less or more than the reality. So the writer says he was also checking the facts whether they are real or imaginary. The next paragraph. The route lay through one of the richest of India's agricultural area. The train the writer was traveling in, its route was passing through the agricultural areas. This agricultural area was very fertile. Being very fertile, the writer says it one of the richest agricultural areas. This was the plain of the upper Ganga river, 1,000 feet above sea level, but tropical. This area, which was one of the richest of India's agricultural area, was the plain of upper Ganga river. As you know that the Ganga enters into the plains in Haridwar. From Haridwar it flows on the plains. So this part is called the plain of upper Ganga river. This part of the upper Ganga river is 1,000 feet above sea level. What is the location of it from sea level? So the writer says it is 1,000 feet above the sea level, but tropical. Tropical means भूमध्य रेखी. As you may have read that there is an imaginary line which divides the whole globe into two parts. The first part is the North Pole and the second part is the South Pole. Between these two poles, the middle line is called Mediterranean line, Bhumad Rekha. Around this line there is always much hot and much rainfall every hours of the year. So this area was hot and rainful area. So this is the reason he calls this area tropical. The Ganga was brown silt, swollen with flood waters. Its overflow inundating thousands of acres of rice. The soil, the sand of the Ganga was brown in color. This time the Ganga was flooded with water. It was in full swing, overcapacitated with water, and its overflow, it is not flow, it is overflow. Overflow, swift current, you can say, inundating, destroying a large area with its water and its overflow, thousands of acres of rice. Rice means chawal, paddy. This area is to be known the agricultural area, especially for rice, it may be in thousands of acres. There was farming of paddies. So this area of paddy was being destroyed by the flow of the Ganga. To the north were jungles, great expanses of grass higher than a man's head and unbroken except for an occasional clump of trees. The writer says, one side there was the Ganga, and in the other side of his train going ahead, there were jungles. In the jungles, there was a long expanse of grass. Grass was not a little one. This grass was higher than the height of a man, and there was no gap in this expansion of grass, but some occasional here and there trees were found in group, clump, झुंड में. So the writer says, in this large expansion of higher grass, only some trees could be found. In this area, there were the homes, the home of tigers, elephants, pythons, and cobras. In these jungles, these big animals were found. Everywhere else there was flat land running to the horizon, but dotted here and there by the sacred banyan tree or by rows of pakar trees, shaped like elms and having thick twisted trunks. The writer says, there was nothing but flat land, plain land, everywhere, wherever your eyes were reaching, only plain land could be seen, going to the point where the earth and sky seemed to meet each other. You know, horizon is a point, imaginary point, when earth and sky touch each other. This is imaginary feeling. Nowhere sky or earth touch each other, but the limit we can see is the point where we feel that this is the meeting point of earth and sky. But dotted here and there by the sacred banyan tree, in this flat land, plain land, here and there were trees of banyan, bargad. These trees are called to be sacred, pavitra, are by rose of Parker tree. Parker in Hindi pakariya का पेड़. There were also lines of trees which are known to be as pakariya in our local language. They also could be seen there. Their shape was like ilm. Ilm is a kind of tree which is found in Europe and America, just like the tree of Parker or banyan. And these trees had thick twisted trunk. Twisted means molded. Trunk means tana. As you may have seen that a tree of Fakariya is not looking very pretty. It is rough, khurdura. So ilms is also very rough and tough. The next line, hot, humid air was moving in from the southwest. When the writer was journeying, he says hot, wet, humid air was also blowing, running from the side of the southwest. You can say पश्चिम की हवा, पछुआ हवा. Monkeys, some of them mothers with babies clinging to them and riding underneath. He also gives a picture of the platforms where there were monkeys available. Among the monkeys, there were some mother monkeys who had babies clinging to them, and these babies were riding under them, clinging to their stomachs and riding. What were these monkeys doing there? The writer says, swung off trees at the stations, looking for food. These monkeys on the platforms were hanging from trees at the station in search of food. Now The next line, the villages we passed had walls made of mud mixed with water and cow dung. The writer gives the description of those villages which he saw during his journey. He says that the houses in those villages had the walls made of mud, a kind of mixture with water and cow dung. Their peaked roofs were thatched, bundles of grass tied to bamboo poles stretched across the rafter. How were their roofs? Here the writer says their roofs were thatched with the bundles of grass. Grass being collected in bundles was tied in some bamboo poles which were stretching across the rafters. Rafters, a big wood, a big pole which supports the major burden of the roof made from the bundles of grass. That day the pumpkin vines that grew over them were in bloom. The writer also gives one more panorama which adds the beauty of the villages, that these days vines of pumpkin, कद्दू की लताएं, which were growing over those houses, these vines were in flowers, blooming. Streaks of these vines, current of these vines were hanging down in those, from those drab walls, rough walls, walls made of mixtures. Next paragraph. At one station, my routine of talking with the people was interrupted. The writer says, suddenly at one station, his talking with the people was stopped. As soon as he got down from his compartment, as soon as I alighted, a group of young children gathered around me. As soon as he alighted, came down On the platform, a group of young children gathered him, surrounded him. Who were these children? They were selling baskets, hand woven reed baskets with simple designs and patterns. These children who were in group selling baskets on the platform, baskets made by hand, made from grass, reed, a kind of high grass, you can say in your local language, patora. These baskets were not just like baskets manufactured in factories. They were very simple in designs. Their patterns were very common. These children, the writer says, they held the baskets high. All of them holding their baskets high, shouting words. They were shouting something. I did not know, but conveying unmistakably their desire. The writer says, what were they shouting? He did not understand them because he did not know their local language, but it was sure for him to convey, to feel the sense, the feeling, the desire they wanted to say to the writer. Next paragraph. These were refugee children. When partition between India and Pakistan was decreed, hundreds of thousands of people pulled up their roots and changed their residences. These children who were selling baskets on the platforms were refugee children. Who is refugee? Refugee is that one who comes to another country without have legal permission. They have come to India to get shelter. They were not the citizens of India, but came to India. So, these children were called to be refugee. The writer says, when partition between India and Pakistan was decreed, when partition announced between India and Pakistan in 1947, partition between India and Pakistan announced. After this announcement, hundreds of people, thousands of people pulled up their roots, पैतृक स्थान, they left their original inhabitation, changed their residences, their homes, their lands, their property, their everything, and came to India. How many were they coming to India? 9 million, 90 lakh people left Pakistan and came to India. 90 lakh people came to India after the partition between India and Pakistan, driven by the fear of religious fanaticism. Those days there was a fear running among the people. What was the fear? What was the dread? This was the fear of religion, religious fanaticism, religious madness. Due to this madness of religion, people were very afraid, and this fear had pushed them out of their original inhabitation, original residences. They were poor people to start. When they started, that time, these were the poor people. They were poorer as they began their long trek. But as soon as they started, they became poorer, poor and poorer, गरीब और ज़्यादा गरीब. As they began their long trek, this trek, way, path was not a little trek, was not a little distance, it was a long distance, maybe of 1,000 kilometers. So this long trek they covered on foot, and covering this long distance they became poorer. For all they could carry was a bit of food. The writer says, when they were starting, they could carry only a little amount of food and a few necessary articles, necessary things which were mandatory, very important, life supporting to them. Soon they were out of food. The amount of food they carried very shortly finished, and a few days after some days, they began to fall by the wayside from the weakness of hunger. After some days, when they starting, they began to fall by the roadside, fall due to the weakness of hunger. They could not found to eat. They could not find to drink. And due to lack of food and drinking, due to the weakness of hunger, they died where they fell. There was a very pathetic scene when the relatives were dying before them and they could do nothing but see and left to go ahead. So this was very touching, heart-wringing scene among them. The children selling baskets were sons and daughters of these refugees. They or their parents or relatives had gathered in the cities, setting up stalls, manufacturing simple articles, trying to make a living in markets already overcrowded. The writer says, these children who surrounded him on a platform, all of a sudden were the sons, the daughters of these people. The people from Pakistan came after partition. In India, their parents, their other relatives gathered in the cities and setting up stalls, small shops, manufacturing simple articles, making their very small things like baskets, fans and toys, somehow trying to make a living in markets, making and manufacturing these small articles. They were trying to earn their bread and butter for the day in the market, which was already so overcrowded that they could not stay there in the competition with the articles made by the companies, by the factories. They lived in grass and they lived in cloth and grass sheds that lined the streets. The writer says, in the cities, they were living in huts, झोपड़ियों। These sets were made of cloths, grass. The peasants among these refugees had been accustomed to little all their lives, for the annual income of an agricultural family does not on the average exceed $100 a year. Peasants means farmers. Among these refugees, there were some farmers who also came in India with these people. These farmers had been in the habit to earn a little in their whole life. They never dreamed to have more, only a little. For a little they were accustomed, अभ्यस्त हो गए थे. For the annual income of an agricultural family, because the family which was dependent on agricultural product, its income does not exceed $100 a year. It was average income of a family based on agriculture. The average unskilled laborer makes 30 cents a day, or less than $2 a week. The writers also describes about laborers. Laborers among them could earn 30 cents a day. You can say 1.5 rupee a day, or less than it. But this earning was not more than the earning as $2 a week. There is one meal a day. In the whole of the day, they could find one-time meal. In their one-time meal, there was an onion, एक प्याज, a piece of bread, एक रोटी का टुकड़ा, a bowl of pulse, एक दाल का कटोरा with milk, perhaps a bit of goat cheese. And with these recipes items, they could also find a small amount of goat cheese paneer. Except this, there was no tea, no coffee, no fat, no sweets, no meats. They couldn't have the food full of protein, full of fat, full of vitamins, minerals. Only simple food they could get. This was the situation. $100 a year is not $2 a week. Yet even that small amount is hard to earn by selling baskets to people too poor to buy them. The writer says $100 is not equal to $2 in a week. This means that if you earn $2 a week or less than it, then it is not in aggregation $100 a year. But even $100 or less than $200 in a week, it was not simple. It was very hard to earn this small amount. That is only by selling baskets among the people who were already so poor that they could not buy their baskets, could not buy the baskets being sold by these refugee people. Indian people who were already the citizens of India was so poor, they were not in the capacity to buy something. And among these people, if someone tries to earn livelihood, then it is not simple task, easy task. That no doubt is the reason these little children descended on me like locusts. This is the reason, यही कारण है. These people at one station descended, टूट पड़े on him just like locusts, टिड्डियां. As you may have seen locusts, टिड्डियां, they were numberless. When they attack fields, all the fields are distracted, crops distracted, because they are numberless. So these children surrounded him, descended on him like locusts. I, an American, was doubtless the most promising market they had seen. Perhaps these children may have thought that this man is guaranteed to buy their basket. So this is the reason they descended on him. The next paragraph. I bought one tiny basket for a few annas, another fruit basket for a bit more, a beautiful best paper basket for a rupee, and a lovely swing basket for a rupee, a few fans for an anna, are two a piece. The writer says, when these children gathered him, he bought a teeny basket, a small basket for a few anna. In those days, anna was mudra, coin of Indian government. A rupee had 16 anna. 4 anna, 8 anna. So for few annas, the writer bought a very small basket. For some more annas, a bit more annas, he bought another fruit basket to keep fruits, a beautiful best paper basket for a rupee, and in a rupee he also bought a beautiful basket made from the best paper, raddi kagaj, a lovely sewing basket for a rupee, one more basket for keeping the articles of sewing. This basket was lovely, pretty. A few fans for an anna, are two a piece. Or by the rate of n or 2 a piece, he also bought some fans. My arms were filled, and I had spent not 50 cents. The writer says, his hands were filled, and by this time, he did not spend even 1.5 rupee, 50 cent. You can say 3 or 4 rupees he did not spend. The children passed in shouting their wares. The children who were passing in before him were shouting their goods. Where many goods? I was prisoner, completely surrounded, unable to move. The writer was totally captured, caught, and he was not able to move a little here and there because a group of children was surrounding him. The most diligent, aggressive vendor was a beautiful girl of 9 right in front of me. Among those children, there was a girl of 9, beautiful girl of 9, who was laborious, aggressive vendor, seller, was just standing In front of the writer, she had a lovely basket. उसके पास सुंदर टोकरी थी. With handle. This basket had handle to hold, and she wanted ₹1.50 for it, or about 30 cents. Perhaps she wanted ₹1.50 or about 30 cents. She was earnest pleader. She was very honestly telling the writer to pursuing the writer to buy her basket. Very honestly, there were tears in her eyes. When the writer saw that he bought baskets and fans from some other children and he did not buy her basket, so he saw that there were tears in her eyes. Perhaps she was weeping. She pleaded, she begged, she requested, she advocated her basket, convinced him in pathetic tone, in ringing tone that would wring any heart, that would melt any heart, that would make someone feel pity on him. But